Okay, can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me now. Good afternoon, everybody. As I was just saying, it's my first time to Seoul, so it's great to be here, and thank you for inviting me. As I've just been introduced, I'm responsible for merchandise and marketing across Asia. So to provide a little bit of context before I dive into the content and social media aspect of our business, I thought I'd provide just a little bit of context about how we're structured out here in Asia and why we're a little bit different from perhaps the Toys R Us that you've seen here in Korea. So across Asia, we operate nearly 300 stores. Now, Toys R Us has been in Asia since 1986, but it was run by the Lianfeng company. And just 3 years ago, Toys R Us Inc. bought back 70% of Toys R Us Asia, and 30% is still owned by Lianfeng. And we have a board of directors, and the Feng family and Toys R Us main board directors both sit on our joint venture board. So our makeup is a little bit different from perhaps other regions around the world. We will open our 100th store in Beijing, actually on Saturday. So we have rapidly grown across Asia, opening 39 stores this year. We opened about 40 last year, and we'll open another 40 or so over the coming years. So a very aggressive expansion program, both in bricks and mortar, e-commerce, and hopefully I'll give you a flavour of how we operate. So that's our footprint, and the way we're structured is our Hong Kong office is the hub for all of those 9 markets. So all the primary functions are based in Hong Kong, be that finance, be that store planning, marketing, IT, merchandising. All of those support functions are based in Hong Kong, and my team are responsible for merchandise and marketing across the region. So all of our roles are regional. We look after 9 markets. So I mentioned China. We have very rapidly grown across China, north, south, east and west, first tier, second tier, third and fourth tier cities. And it's been a very exciting journey, a long way still to go, but we definitely have a very strong footprint across the whole of China, and we will continue to grow that very, very rapidly. I thought I'd just show you a little bit about how we operate, because it's quite different to a lot of business models. So, as I mentioned, we operate across 9 countries. We're operating 7 currencies, 6 languages, and have a reach of about 1.6 billion. So clearly, it is quite unlike most retail models, but this is what we do in our day job. Equally, covering 9 markets, it does give us interesting sales profiles. The strength of Chinese New Year in some of our markets, the strength of Children's Day, and the strength of summer, all of which are often as big as Christmas. So again, it's a different profile from that of the Western world. Now, we heard a little earlier this afternoon about our millennial consumer, and she really is quite different from some of our Western consumers. What we're seeing here in Asia is sharing and basically operating across multi-platforms, multi-devices. Multitasking, frankly, is part and parcel of her every waking moment. She is constantly checking prices, she's checking where her deliveries are, she's sharing data with her friends, and we heard from Rob earlier today, she doesn't trust banks or traditional institutions. She absolutely lives in an omni-channel world, and for her this is just all she does all day long, whether she's at work, looking after her children, at home. It is part and parcel of her everyday life. And I take great delight in explaining this to our Western colleagues, because often they just don't realize how quickly the Asian consumer has been to adapt and adopt social media and technology. You all saw last week that Singles Day broke all records, an amazing phenomenon, and real credit to the speed at which online transacting has taken the Asian world by storm, and I think the most staggering statistic is that over 70% of those sales were from the mobile. And again, that's a massive shift from where it's been. So the strength of the mobile ability to transact, as we heard earlier this afternoon, is just growing exponentially. I'm sure you know all these statistics, the rate at which China is growing so rapidly and online is growing, so is mobile. I won't insult you with the data, but I do use these slides to share with many of my American colleagues so that they can understand the sheer scale of the potential of online shopping and the speed of adoption across China. So, let's bring it right back to what we want to talk about. Content, convergence, social and digital media. That's what I want to talk to you about now that you've got a little bit of context. And I'm going to share with you what we're doing differently to embrace social media and embrace this ability to converge and bring content to life for children and for families. So we talk about 360-degree marketing, a well-worn phrase, I think, but we really do make sure that we live and breathe that. But we also use a lot of new tactics, such as augmented reality. We obviously use all the social platforms, and we're integrating all of that technology through our catalogue, through our mobile apps, through mobile. The whole of our marketing campaigns truly are completely converted and utterly integrated. By that, I'll just demonstrate what I mean. So, social media is now our primary communication channel for communicating with all of our consumers. The statistics here show that Toys R Us Hong Kong is only just behind Toys R Us US when it comes to the number of Facebook likes and visits. When it comes to YouTube, there's only Walmart ahead of Toys R Us Singapore and Toys R Us Hong Kong, who has more views, more pages. In fact, YouTube contacted us and said, do you know how strong you are on YouTube? And we said, well, it's pretty important to us, but we had no idea that we were so highly ranked. The reason being, we stream a lot of content through Facebook. We stream a lot of content through YouTube. We don't TV advertise. We don't advertise in print media other than a Christmas catalogue. It's all about driving the engagement through these channels. But it's not only that. We are the biggest children's brand on Weibo, on WeChat, and indeed on all of these platforms we reckon we're reaching 500,000 consumers every single month. We've won awards for the best emotive brand from Yahoo, with the #1 visited kids website in Hong Kong and in Singapore, and as I said, the biggest toy brand on Weibo and on WeChat. The statistic here just again illustrates how different the US consumer is influenced by social media. This is saying that our target consumer here, 64% are not influenced by social media in the US. But here, it's the absolute reverse when it comes to China and Asia particularly. Our target demographic, 68%, are directly influenced by social media. Now, we have real fun with this, so I'm just giving you an illustration of how we took advantage of an opportunity. One Direction, the biggest boy band, happened to be visiting Hong Kong, and we managed to secure 12 tickets when all the tickets had been sold out. And basically we had 3 days to pull this together. We put a posting on Facebook, run into the store, take a selfie, get as many likes as you can, and the winner with the most likes gets 2 tickets to go and see One Direction. In just 3 days, we reached 236,000 people. Our sales went up of this particular brand, where we asked, oh sorry, that's my fault, where we asked them to run in and take a selfie. Sales went up 46%, and we had a lot of girls crying. They were so delighted to get One Direction tickets. But that was a bit of fun, and we did it very, very quickly in the space of 3 days. This is another example of using WeChat in China, where we pushed a targeted message to about 29,000 followers. So we were very targeted in the demographic that we were trying to appeal to. And within the first 2 hours, we saw we'd sold 84 pieces, but more importantly, nearly 40% went to the buy page. So very cost effective, very targeted, and the response was absolutely immediate. This is something else that we're doing with WeChat, where we're using the shake function to recognize through iBeacons in store that our customer is back in the store, so we welcome them back. We know exactly what they bought from us last time, so we send them a targeted message to their mobile phone. It's personalized, and we can make that absolutely a promotion just relevant for that consumer. So it's operating in real time while our customers are in store. It's personalized, it's absolutely targeted with instant reward and drive sales. And again, the conversion of sales from mobile is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What we also do is make sure that every time we run a campaign, it's consistent on social media, on our website, on all the touch points where the consumer sees our brand, we go for consistency. And this is where we as a hub can deliver consistency, but it's important that every time the consumer touches our brand, it has the same values, the same degree of quality, and the same messages, and we feel that's really, really important. We also talk about the convergence of online and offline, both in-store and online. So this is where we've taken the latest technology to create some unique content from a studio, this one being Universal. So unique Minions content. We've created a selfie station in store, and then the kids can have fun having their photo taken with unique content, which is printed in store, and then they instantly get a reward, something they can't get anywhere else. This also is in our Singapore store, which is the latest technology digital screen, which interacts with social media, constantly changing messaging around promotions, but it's completely interactive with social media, and that's what makes it different. This is a snapshot of what happens on our website, and we watch this in real time. So this is technology that sits on our platform and enables us to see exactly who is on our website. So this was 11/11 last week, and basically, if I skip to the next slide, if this were in real time, the blue avatars are new visitors, yellow are repeat visitors, green are members of our loyalty club, and we can see exactly what they're doing on our website in real time, what they're looking at, how long they've been on the site, how many times they've visited, what they've spent. They've come through Google, they're on their desktop, they're a Star Card member, our loyalty scheme, and we know what they bought last time. So we can proactively sell to those consumers the whole time. Our loyalty base is very, very important to us. We have over 6.3 million members across 7 markets, and this is now fully integrated with our app, WeChat, and to the point now that we have, we are only offering virtual coupons now in China, no paper-based coupons whatsoever. But we shouldn't forget bricks and mortar. In-store experience is, of course, hugely important as well, and we try to bring excitement and theatre both in-store and through social media. So here's an example of some 3D printing that we did with Marvel in Times Square, where we took the Avengers characters, you take the scan of the child's head, and you can put the child's head onto the body of Iron Man. Here was a 3D printing exercise which we did in Hong Kong. I don't know if you recall, but the duck was in Hong Kong Harbour. And we basically launched very quickly a 3D printing experience. Rob mentioned earlier about experiments and how important it is. We are real advocates of experimenting, learning, burning, and then carrying on and improving our proposition the whole time. So we take experiments very, very seriously indeed. And this was one of those experiments where we wanted to test the reaction of 3D printing and the reaction of the opportunity, the experience to print something in store and then buy it. First to market is absolutely part of our DNA, so there's nothing wrong with still creating the buzz and excitement of a limited edition or a first to market, and we can still drive queues. Just Saturday and Sunday gone, we had again about 500 people queuing at 5 in the morning because they wanted to get some collector's items. In store, we like to think we're very creative and very dramatic with the experience that the child sees, so we want it to be more like a theme park than a regular grocery shop, shall we say. So we like to make it very fun and very interactive. Whether it's a preschooler or a collector, there's something for them to do when they're in the store. We've also integrated more of the digital content. So these are just 3D floor prints. The whole experience around getting behind the brand and letting the child live out time with that brand, be that Thomas or whoever. And this is introducing digital technology again and augmented reality for times for the kids to enjoy with the parents in store. And we firmly believe that if the child is happy, the parents are happy, and we're contributing to quality family time, whether it's at the weekend or after school, when they're in our store, and that's really important. We want to put smiles on children's faces. And then the building of selfies, every opportunity we can. It's a global phenomenon. Everybody loves to take a selfie, so we create unique opportunities, be that green screens, unique content, or a memento of their time shopping with us. Interestingly also, as you saw from the earlier slide, we have lots of opportunities to create events throughout the year, whether that's Children's Day, whether it's Easter or a big movie launch. And we open up pop-up stores in many of the different malls where we either do have a store or we don't have a store. And it enables us to very quickly expand our footprint to optimize the opportunity of that particular event and then contract and remove it again equally quickly. But it enables us to very quickly grow our sales and grow our reach to our consumers. And then I'm just going to wrap up now in terms of how we pulled, here's an example of how we did pull together all of our social and digital content when we launched Star Wars on September the 4th. This was a regional campaign. Everybody was communicated via social media. There was a microsite in every single market, and we drove the content. And I'd just like to play the video, and then I'll finish off there. So.
네, 다음 순서는 그 모바일 메신저에서 캐릭터 산업까지를 주제로